It's your partner. We back in Florida, Hope Sound to be exact. It's my partner, Cliff.
What's going on?
He's the
What's good?
greatest contractor on the planet. Don't shout me down. I'm a little biased. It's all good. Cliff, man. Hey, man. How was this renovation experience remotely? How was it?
That was pretty good.
Pretty good. Pretty good. Was the crew good, man?
Crew was good. Crew was good. You know, you always want to keep up with your crew, keep up with your timelines, keep up with what's going on with the GC on the ground, boots on the ground, see how they're doing it, being able to determine the quality of it. It's a lot of stuff you have to be able to manage, man, but you got to do it one step at a time.
Step at a time, man. Now, was it hard doing a remote flip?
I mean, it's a lot more things you have to consider when you're going into it, right? Because you can't see all the little details to it. But as long as you're being precise and you have good communication, you can get it done.
Gotcha. And is it proper to stay out of the GC's way while they're doing their stuff?
Stay out of their way. They know what they're doing. They know the house, they know the construction, they know the crew, they know the environment, they know the city. Stay out their way.
Now, I'll send you guys the bill in the mail. This guy's products have been on HGTV. So expect a bill in the mail from your partner. Holla at us. What's good, baby? It's your boy Dale. I'm back in the saddle again. Our motto is to buy, build. We already bought it already, so we already own it, free and clear. Refinance to long-term debt, cash flow. That is the motto. Cliff, man, is that a pretty strong motto, man? What do you think?
Man, the model is strong. Like, you're getting each piece of the invest, right?
What it do, baby? It's your partner, man. It's been 2 weeks, man, since we did the real estate live. Cliff, man, what it do, baby? What's going down with you, baby?
Man, it's doing good, man. I apologized 2 weeks ago. I got COVID again. So I had to, I was feeling bad. Had called Dale up. So now we back. We back in the business. Dale was away last week, trying to stay up on the real estate game. Man, how was the trip, bro?
Man, I was in Miami, in other words, and I was down to get it in with Patrick Bet-David, man. Got it in with Robert Kiyosaki. Got it in with Chaz Palminteri. He's if you don't know who that guy is, he's a world-renowned Broadway actor, and he's been in a lot of movies. That if I show you his picture, you'll be like, "Oh, that's him." Like, yeah, that's him. Kevin Connolly, he's the one of the main actors in Entourage. He and I got to talk one-on-one a lot of the times, man. Met a lot of good, smart entrepreneurs doing millions upon millions of dollars annually in their businesses. So we had a good time, man. I'll be honest with you, Cliff, I was so tired, man. I slept 4 hours a day for those 40 days I was down there. 4 hours a day. It was hard, man. It was hard, but it is what it is, man. We got it done. We got a lot of deal flow, a lot of good transactions. Phenomenal transactions, man, that's coming down the pipeline. You got 3 of them today. We got to walk through it with the apartment complexes in Wyoming, South Dakota, and North Dakota. Yeah, y'all, we nationwide on this thing, man. It's a pretty good deal, man. It's going to be a pretty sizable project for us, but we think that we can actually do something pretty big for us, man. Besides the sickness, man, how was your week, Doc?
Good week. Still trying to stay busy. Let me give you everybody listening a rundown what's going on in the environment that we in, the real estate environment that we in. So we get major slowdown. The beginning of the economy starting to slow down. It's been slowing down, but it's about to accelerate. Um, when I've been looking at it, so most of the time before they started raising the interest rates, the Federal Reserve started raising interest rates. Yep. In the Dallas Fort Worth area where we're at, we saw under 30 days as an average. You selling it, wow. I saw 10 days, 15 days, that was the average. Now I'm seeing creep ups 60 days, 80 days. So we're starting to see that first creep up of days on market starting to extend, which is the first sign. So that's the first thing. Now we're also starting to see a pullback in pricing. So before we saw increasing pricing, I'm starting to see stabilized pricing. To where it's the prices are not going up, but they're starting to stay flat. So my will stay flat for a minute and even slightly drop as they raise the interest rates even more.
Really? Now, if you could unpack people, man, What do you mean by so we can kind of make sure we're talking to everybody? Well, what do you mean by pullback and or
Mm.
stagnant? So people understand what that means.
So the market is basically there's less buyers on the market. That was
Mm.
fueling the prices going up. With the interest rates going higher, your monthly payment on your mortgage is going up.
Yeah.
So just as a quick example,
hmm
the interest rates that we had last year
hmm
for $3,000 a month, you
Yeah.
could have bought close to a $700,000 property
Yes, you could. Yes, you
with the
could have.
interest rate. Now that's dropped down to close to a $500,000.
Yeah, that's a
With the
$200,000
interest
drop. That's a
Right.
big drop. What's causing that much of a drop from that's a pretty big drop, man, in a short amount of time frame. We're talking about 18-month time frame. What's causing that drop, Cliff?
interest rates.
So
They
the
are
cost of capital is doing that.
the cost of money is doubled. The
Mm,
cost of money is doubled. So if you're trying to sell something right now, you're selling to buyers with
mm,
less ability to access capital, less
that's
ability to
correct.
access cash. They ain't got it.
Interesting.
So
Now
what
let's
we
let's
Mhm.
go ahead. Go ahead and finish your thought. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying, so what's lining up? The dominoes are stacking up for opportunities to start coming. And then I would say it's gonna get tough in the next
Mm.
probably 4 to 8 months. You're gonna start getting into some great deals coming down the pipeline.
So let me ask you this question then, Cliff, real fast, man. You've heard Bank of America. They are now coming out with no money down loans. That smells vaguely familiar to a time frame, not a short while before this time,
Right.
2000. In your opinion, this is a licensed appraiser, guys. Okay, in your opinion, is that a wise move to do?
Well, it's almost kind of like asking, do standards matter? You know what I'm saying?
I got you. I got you. Yeah.
So if you got standards, it's for a reason. The
Mm,
bank, they got money for a reason.
yeah.
So when they come up with their standards, it's because that was what they have determined is what is required to meet their requirements to handle that mortgage.
That's
If
correct.
you can't come up and meet those requirements, you're more than likely going to have something bad happen in the back end.
Gotcha. So what you're saying is just like in 2005, 6, 7, and 8, banks began to loosen their criteria. And the pitch was to allow for anybody to get the American dream of home ownership. Well, because you loosened your criteria, what happened is people that could not afford these properties are there because of the cost of capital. Back then, the cost of capital was lower, but now the cost of capital is higher. But back then, we're gonna stay back in 2006, 7, and 8. They were given ninja loans, no doc loans. It was damn near 100% financing. So this is the same thing. So what's different now? Same criteria, 100% financing. It's a higher cost of capital now. That is a storm waiting to happen. And also, those that are getting those loans out, do they really have any connections to the home? Most likely, no. So if stuff hits the fan, okay, stuff hits the fan, what's going to happen is they're going to walk away from their property scot free because they had nothing in the deal. Would that be right, Cliff?
Yeah, I mean, if you're putting nothing down now, you do have to kind of compare this though, right? Because there are other programs out there that are 0% down. The
Yeah,
VA, the
yeah.
VA will actually go over 100%
Mm,
because they will cover additional closing costs or any costs associated with the deal. They'll cover that, so it'll be above 100%. I think it's up to
mhm.
105% that
Yeah,
they'll cover.
yeah.
So it's kind of in line with that as well. But the idea behind the VA loan is that you already have some kind of skill set that has
Sure.
been provided to you through the army. So that they're betting on the idea that you'll find work because you've already been trained. There's something they're basing that on, right? Where this
So
other one is
you
not.
go ahead. Yeah. Yeah. So in other words, is this other one is just willy nilly, wild, wild west, correct?
Correct. Right. Right. Now,
Ticking time
if you
down.
There's another one though too. There's
Okay.
another 0% that is the I'm trying to remember what it is. Oh, it's the if you're in a rural area, they
Mhm.
have those as well. They have those if
Mm.
it's deemed because what will happen is what happens everybody. So let me break it down for you a little bit. So where these criteria sit is national, right? And that's
Okay.
how it gets pushed down. What they'll
Okay.
do for rural areas is they'll have certain zip codes that
Mm.
they deem rural,
Okay.
and you can also get 0% down in those areas as well.
Yeah.
Those exist as well because what they're trying to do is just incentivize people to actually move into these areas because they want to be able to
Okay.
expand, they want to be able to drive additional stuff going out. So that's another one that's 0% down. Mainly that was used for like farmers and stuff like that, trying to get out there and try
So
to buy.
so it sounds like we have some case studies
Right.
that use this type of model, but the difference between the existing case studies and this new scenario is in those case studies, there's some sort of criteria there. Is that right?
Right. Exactly. Yep.
And in this new structure or product, there's very little criteria, correct?
So I'm the only thing I'm sure about when it came to it is the down payment. The down payment
Okay,
is zero. I'm not sure what the qualifications are necessarily
gotcha.
for the monthly payment. Because if they're just saying, hey, we'll cover the down payment,
Hmm.
I mean, you could do that if you was a realtor, right? I mean, if you had a
Sure,
realtor, you could take 3% off, and most loans are 97 to 95%. So maybe you're bringing 2% down with
sure, sure.
that, but it's already
Well,
5% now.
I think what we can do is in the next coming weeks we can kind of do a little case study on this to see
Mm,
exactly what is. We can look at the existing case studies, the two that you talked about, and compare it to this new one as well. That may be something we can do next Friday to kind of let people know what's going on because people are asking questions like the devil, how does this make any sense? I'm like, well, guys, let me do some research on it to make sure I understand the whole logistics of this program. As looking at it, just looking at it, I'm not, and I don't like it. But the devil is in the details. I want to see the details before I come to a complete conclusion. Does that make sense?
yeah, yeah. And what the interesting is what's going to happen to me is that in those areas you're going to see prices go up.
Mm,
So
mm,
what to me because you have people who qualify, but the qualifications only in certain areas.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that means the money's moving faster in that area.
Mm,
So you're going to cause prices to go up. And what does the state and the city and the county like to do when property values go up?
mm. Tell the people, Doc. Tell the people.
Taxes.
Yes, sir. Yeah, that old word taxes, boy.
You cannot have gentrification without high taxes. The
Yes,
same
right.
thing.
Bait and, so I'm smelling a bait and switch.
Right, right. They,
Bait
they
and
hey, it's a
switch.
benefit to you, but you gotta pay all these taxes
Yes,
back to
sir.
the state. Right.
Guys, the government's main and only source of income is what? Taxes. So they're going to find ways how to increase the tax revenue. Okay? It's extremely simple. That is the main source of the government's income. That makes some sense. But man, I think it'd be a good idea for us to do that case study, man, on those two programs, Cliff, and this existing program that Bank of America is talking about. Because me looking at it, just when I look in the details, I'm like, this don't smell good at all. This smells just like 2008. But I want to look at the details just to make sure I understand what's going on. Anytime I might see 100% financing, my ears go up. My ears go up like this doesn't make any fiscal sense. And I'm a terms and definitions guy. So if you tell me one thing, I'm gonna look at the authentic definition of that word. And if the actions don't follow the word, you off base. Straight, extreme simple. Would you agree, Cliff?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, there's always the bank ain't stupid,
Mm-mm.
so they're doing it for a particular reason, and
That's right.
they got some other way of trying to make money on it. The
That's
idea
correct.
that they just going to hold it on their books Think about it. Think about that. Dale, that's why Dale laughing, because he know, hold on, the bank's going to just hold billions of dollars of loans with 0% down on their books.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, Nikki, how you doing? That don't make no sense at all, guys. Zero down on their books. I smell some off balance. I smell some off balance sheet accounting going on. Uh-oh. But yeah, guys. Nikki, how you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. But guys, let's jump right into it, man. Let's jump right into it. We're talking about structure of your entity. I think this is why I was supposed to talk about. Clip actually came up with this topic because of there's a changing going on from the IRS, changing going on with laws. Every year the tax laws change, so you better believe you better have a good team, TEAM team around you to assist you in structure and processes within your company. Would you agree, Cliff?
Exactly. Yeah, you got to have it's paperwork, right? You got to have the correct paperwork.
Yes.
So that everything goes correctly. And
That's
part
correct.
of the reason why I started looking at this was because there was basically a article in a video that I had seen where somebody didn't have their paperwork together and they got their house and their land taken. Because they didn't do the proper things with their real estate.
That's correct.
To secure their property for the long term.
That's right. And guys, that happens all of the time. All of the time. The devil's in details. For instance, guys, if you are buying real estate, whether it be apartment complex or a SFR, which stands for single family residence, the first step for you should do before you buy anything is to form an LLC of some sort. And that's going to be determined by your counsel with your real estate attorney. If you ain't visiting that counsel first, you're off base. You're off base. Don't be buying real estate in your name. That is the dumbest thing you can ever do. You're wide open for a lawsuit. And in this lawsuit happy economy, you better make sure that you are protected. Would you agree, Cliff?
Oh, yeah. And so exactly what Dale said. The point of an LLC is to break it down: limited liability company. The whole goal is to limit your liability, to make sure that you separate your assets. And so you want to make sure you have that paperwork and that everything about that property has that LLC information in it.
That's
the
correct.
Loan has the LLC documentation, the insurance, the taxes, the tax rolls should have your company name, not your personal name. Yeah. Because they come after you personally, all your personal assets are up for grabs. But under your LLC, they can only come under your LLC.
That's right.
And so, for example, me, I have multiple LLCs. I don't just have just one, because I have multiple entities for different businesses that I have.
Yes. And guys, we're keeping it real basic on this. We're not going in depth detail, guys, because we don't know your specific situation. So we're keeping it very simple and concise. What you want to do is take some of this information and go to your legal counsel, a real estate asset protection attorney. Let me say it again. A real estate asset protection attorney. Man, don't be going to no title company attorney asking these questions. Don't be going to no litigation attorney asking these questions. A real estate asset protection attorney. Real simple. Not hard, guys. Okay, begin right there. And then you want to also make sure that your attorneys are in concert with your CPA and accountants and bookkeepers, okay? Because they can advise what credits you have as far as taxes and what you don't have as well. That is the pivotal thing of actually having a structure, because with the IRS hiring 87,000 more agents, you better believe them monitors is coming. You better make sure you get your stuff in order. You agree, Cliff?
I 100% agree. Matter of fact, I was working on a property, and when I was doing that, guy was talking about he owed the IRS $7,000. He was trying to find out a way to make it work. I was going through one of the properties I was looking at, and so you gotta have it in line. Like Dale said, they coming after everybody with the new taxes. They ain't playing, so you gotta have it in order, ready to go.
That's why it's important for you to learn how to keep your own books, but it's probably wiser for you to hire a professional bookkeeper. Okay,
Mm.
get a different set of eyes on your books, and make sure that person's in concert with your CPA. I typically have my accountant and CPA maybe differently. My accountant CPA, they're actually the same, be honest with you, because she's working us for a long period of time. But we're about to take that off her plate as well so that she can focus just on tax strategies for us as well, because we are growing so rapidly. So initially, guys, I would probably, if you want to cut some corners, have your bookkeeper and CPA be two different people, because if you have your CPA do it, their price per hour is going to be a lot higher than a bookkeeper. If that makes some sense. You agree, Cliff?
Yeah, yeah. Even for me, I have separate ones. I have a bookkeeper, but I use my bookkeeper on a quarterly basis. So he does a
Yes.
quarterly reconciliation
Yes.
of everything, make sure everything's right. And so that makes it so my month to month is something I handle, but then every quarter I have somebody come in, reconcile to make sure, and of course, even me, he'll come back and say, hey, here's a number of transactions I don't understand it. I got to come back and go, he's right. I got to update that, change, make the
Yes.
correction. So it's just having a team, right? That's what we're talking about, having that structure.
And I know this is the boring stuff, guys. They say no, we're buying property at 100,000 and we putting 20 grand to it, set up for 200 grand, making 80 grand. We ain't doing none of that. All that is great and wonderful when it comes to execution. But if your foundation is not sound, that means nothing. For instance, back in 2007 and 8, I've always been a buy and holder in real estate. I love cash flow. I love my balance sheet being as large as possible without being over leveraged. Okay. And a lot of my colleagues back then were buying and flipping. I mean, flipping up a storm, making 20,000, 30,000, 40 grand, and they living their best life. But because they didn't have a good foundation, guess what actually happened when it was time to file taxes? Uncle Sam said, I want my cut. Uncle Sam's taking 40 to 50% of your cut, and he put no work into it because the foundation was so off. A lot of them owed thousands upon thousands upon thousands of taxes. Myself, I was making the same amount of money because I know how to structure my transactions, and I was getting a return. You know what I'm saying? From the government, because I had a good bookkeeper and a good accountant. They understood the tax law. Again, don't be afraid of an audit, guys. Okay. Now, can audits be scary? Sure. But if you got your books in order and your team solid, you should come on. No problem. Hey, no problem. Come on in. Look at it. No problem. Talk to my CPA. Not a problem at all. Let them look at everything you need because you have everything in order. The IRS tax code is a roadmap for entrepreneurs to seek to look at, okay, what tax credits can I actually get in order for me to take that risk, for me to invest capital to start a business, hire new employees, so that we generate a lot of tax revenue. Don't look at the tax code as an impediment. Look at it as a roadmap. That's it. Simple. You agree, Cliff?
Oh yeah, so that's like Robert Kiyosaki, where it's the tax code is telling you what to do. They're telling you what to do. So that's why there's so many incentives for real estate because the state can't do it themselves. They've
Yes,
tried.
sir.
They've tried. Right. The
Yeah.
projects was a failure. They
Yes.
tried that. It didn't work. So what turns out is better is individual management. People
Yeah.
understand the neighborhoods they're going into, the buildings that they're buying,
Yeah.
and how to manage those at a better rate. So yeah, you got to make sure you're using the tax protocol correct.
Yep, it's very simple, guys. Again, I know this is the boring stuff, but this is where the money is actually made when you have your foundation tight. You don't build a house without either having a pier and beam or slab foundation. You don't build a house that way because if you build a house without a foundation, it's going to fall. And then me and Cliff will come out and buy all your assets for $2,600. Literally, we'll do that gladly too, laughing. We will do that. Not at you, at how cheap we got the properties. It's real simple. You agree, Cliff? Am I lying? Talk to me.
I ain't lying. You ain't lying. Yeah, I mean, it's you just gotta have everything in order. So like when stuff goes down, you got your because I was telling Dale a long story. I'm not gonna keep it long, but I had to go to court, right? I had to go to court. I had to present to a judge my LLC documentation to prove, and anything that came with it, the insurance and all the documentation to prove that I was
Yeah.
the owner, to make
Yeah.
sure I had that everything consistent. Now, the judge in that case, they ruled on my side, but she could have asked for additional documents, could have went further into it if it wasn't such an open and shut case.
Yeah.
Could have went further. If I didn't have that documentation, the judge has no, like, well, if you ain't got it, then I can't rule in your favor.
That's correct. And to kind of give you guys a little bit more of a go a little bit deeper here, while the asset structure is so pivotal. Our general counsel says, Liddell, typically when it comes to what you do, you are not in the criminal realm. You're in the civil realm. The criminal realm, it is black and white, guilty or innocent, simple. In the civil realm, CIVIL realm, what that is she said, if you're on the left hand side, or if you're on the black side, or if you're on the white side, I'm using it as an example. If you're on the black side, you want to make it as gray as possible. If you're on the white side, you want to make it as light as possible, because you're in a civil court. That's how that actually works, guys. So that's important for your general counsel to know how to operate outside of the courtroom and inside. And that's why I love our general counsel, because she's also an asset protection attorney. So all of our entities, she has it all done for us. Simple. And we have make sure you have a general counsel, a go-to counsel, a general counsel. If you need somebody, we refer you as much whoever we can. A good place to start, if you don't want to, if you can't find anyone, Legal Shield is a great place to start. Cheap, $40 a month. You can kind of cut your teeth a little bit on how this whole thing works, and then go from there. You agree, Cliff?
Yeah, I was about to say that. That's how I use Legal Shield. Set you up with a will, right? It's important to have that, even if it's simple, like a one pager, right? Like, they provide it to you, so if you could just even write out a list and have it in the will, you will never know. Also included with that is the correct type of insurance.
Yeah.
I'm personally a big believer in insurance. I've used it several times, and it's been I couldn't have survived without it. I use it for roofs. I got no problem calling the insurance company. So if something happens to my property, I'm calling. I'd rather the insurance company tell me they can't cover it than me just guess. So I'll make that phone call, even if it's on the line. You know what I mean? If it's something like, hey, the roof might be, I'll give them a call anyway.
And guys, this is a general contractor as well, telling you to call the insurance company. You're paying for the insurance. Use it. Use it.
You exactly. Use it. They'll tell you no. That's fine. That's actually good news, because the insurance company sent somebody out on your behalf to check out your roof or whatever the issue is. If they come back saying no, it looks good, that's good news to you. You just got a good bill of health for no money. It's free. And here's a little trick that I always try to use is, if you're calling the insurance company out, before you do that, maybe, for example, on a roof, have a roofer go out. Have him tell you, hey, here's issues here, here, and here. Be like, great. If you can be here when the insurance company shows up and you point these out, I'll give you the job. Woo. You'll get that roofing contract if you can convince the insurance company this is a problem. That happens all the time. High-end houses, you're talking about those, like, I'm talking about good house, $800,000, $1 million. They do that they will never have an insurance company come out without a professional there to to speak with that. So I think, Dale, your picture, there you go. Okay, but so just have a professional there with the insurance company.
Yeah, guys, he gave y'all a jewel right there. A jewel. I'm trying to told y'all, if you are paying for if you're paying for the insurance, use it. Think about it, guys. Whatever you pay for, don't you want to maximize the usage of what you pay for? So maximize the insurance usage. Again, they can tell you no, but then you have a good bill of health. Use them as kind of a de facto inspector. If that makes sense. Use them. You're paying for it. They're not going to dock you at all. They're going to say either yes or no. And just think about it. What they said yes to you. Oh, damn. So now the insurance paid for repair what you itemized out in your scope of work. But now you can earmark that. That money goes back into your pocket now because the insurance company covered that. Does that make sense, Cliff?
Right, exactly. So it's basically an inspection. You could point out all kind of things to them. So there's been water damage, anything to the side of the house, fencing. That's all insured under it. And so, like, exactly, you're paying for it. Use it. If they say no, cool. That's a good bill of health. But I mean, at least that's what they're there for. After a major storm, that's mainly what I do. I'd like to call them after major storms because I'm not out at my rental properties all the time, and my tenant may not know what a good roof is or not. So if it's a major storm that I see in my area, I'll call the insurance company up. And most of the time, guys, they already know. They'll already have zip codes which were affected. So they'll already know that, yep, that area was hit hard yesterday. You're like, oh, okay. And you never know. Got you a brand new roof.
Guys, he is telling the honest to God truth, guys. Use the insurance company. You are paying for it, so use it. That's it. Cliff, man, I know it's about that time for us to kind of tamp down, man. Guys, I've got some good news for you guys. All of the videos are completed, but one.
Okay, yeah.
But one, and the one I'm talking about is the Power Team video that Jason Hanna is actually recording for us. Jason Hanna is a trained realtor, okay, and also investor. He's also our transaction coordinator. He's going to talk to you about the importance of what they call a power team and who should be on that power team. It's kind of in the realm of what we talked about today. And guys, the one thing good thing about that section, we wanted to add that section to the course, is because most investors drop the ball in this area because they don't have the right wise counsel around them. So he's going to talk about the name of said power team member, their functions and responsibilities. Most individuals assume that one power team member is responsible for another power team member. No, sir. Give you an example. One of the big misnomers about the function of a title company is they're there to protect you. Please. That is not what they're there for. They are a third party protecting themselves. Jason's going to walk through that entire process. Realtor, title company, appraiser, you name it. He's going to walk it all through that. So make sure you got your pen and papers down because he's going to go into deep detail about these situations because we get phone calls all the time, DMs all the time, emails all the time talking about my realtor screwed me over. What did they do? Well, I thought they were supposed to be the one to set up the appraiser. No, you do that. But again, responsibilities, guys. So, Cliff, you want to say anything about the course, man, before we log off?
Nah, I'm glad it's done. I'm glad we getting all the components and everything together.
Yeah.
We're in changing times, so I know for me personally, on the videos that I made, when I see an ability to upgrade and provide more information, I'm gonna be doing that as well. So you're gonna get that base package with the basic information, but as things go on, I'll update it. Make sure you guys get the most relevant information.
Yes, sir, guys. But that's all we have for today, guys, man. Thank you so much for your time, guys. We're gonna be here next Friday, more consistent, and you can hear baby girl in the background. That's Cliff's baby girl. She ain't screaming, y'all. She's playing. That's her having a good little time, y'all. Discovering her voice. Let her talk to the people. But y'all, man, thank you so much for your time, guys. God bless you. We see you next Friday, the same back time, same back place, man. We're gonna talk about real estate. Me and your partner Cliff. Now, before you leave, take the picture and holler at your partners. Peace.